All right, so this question is from June 2018, and it's question 4a. The question says that f of x is equal to a half x minus 3. And the first thing we're asked to do is to find what is f of 1. So I were asked to find f of 1. Everybody should know that if you ask to find f of 1, simply in f, wherever I see x, I must take out x and put what? 1. So this is a half times 1 minus 3. This is a half minus 3. Anytime I multiply anything by 1, it remains the same. What is a half minus 3? What is a half minus 3? Negative what? Oh, that makes sense. When you take out a half from 3, what left? What is left is 2.5, don't it? And what should be the sign? Because what? Whenever you are what? If the signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the. So this is minus 2.5. If you have minus 2.5, it is fine. Next, we're asked to what? Find the value of x for which f of x is equal to minus 2. So we're told that f of x is equal to minus 2. But f of x is equal to what? A half x minus 3, and that is equal to minus 2. Help me now? Is that fine? Fine. Negative 3 goes over and become what? So we have what? A half x is equal to what? Minus 2 plus 3. So a half x is equal to? What is minus 2 plus 3? 1. If the signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. I would write this as x over 2 is equal to 1 over 1. Multiplying by a half is the same as dividing by 2. Everybody should know that. It's a half times x. So that's a half times x over 1. 1 times x is x. 2 times 1 is what? 2. You understand? So a half of x is the same as saying what? X over 2. If I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, what do I do? So x is equal to 2. Help me now? X is equal to 2. So the value of x for which f of x is equal to minus 2 is x is equal to 2. When x is equal to 2, f of x is equal to minus 2. That's what the thing is saying. See it here? If I put 2 here, so help me now? If I put 2 here, so a half of 2 would be what? Help me, somebody. If I put 1, what is 1 minus 3? What is 1 minus 3? So when x is equal to a half, f of x is equal to what? So the value of x for which f of x is equal to minus 2 is x is equal to what? So quiet, because we just get what? Joke. Let's continue. Alright, this says an ordered pair is in the form an ordered pair is in the form AB. Using your answers from AI and AII or otherwise, list the ordered pairs of the function. No, even that not difficult. But it's just because I don't know anything. This is what the domain values are 1, 2, and 3. Those are the domain values. X in the domain is mapped onto a half x minus 3 in the codomain. When x is 1, f of x is equal to what? So this is minus 2.5. When x is 2, f of x is equal to what? So this is minus 2. Which one missing?
3.
So this is a half times what? 3 minus 1. Minus what? 3, don't it? What is a half times 3? What is a half times 3?
3.5.
To the center. This is minus 1.5. A half of 3 is 1 and a half. A half of 3 is 1 and a half. Or a half of 3 is 3 over 2, which is what? 1 and a half. No. So these are my ordered pairs. X is what?
1.
1. Y is what?
Minus 2.5.
That's the first one. The next one is what? X is what?
2. Minus
Y is what?
minus 2.
The last one.
3.
X is what?
3. Minus
Y is what?
minus 1.
So f of x is equal to that. F of x is equal to that. That is what the examiner is asking you to do. Lastly, explain why f of x is not equal to 4 for the function. F of x, explain why f of x is not equal to 5. Can I tell you how you do that? First, put f of x equal to 5. So let's put f of x equal to 5 to show it. I could tell you the answer, but let's just show it to you. F of x, let's make f of x equal to 5. But what is f of x? A half x minus what? So this is a half x minus 3 is equal to 5. Stay with me. Negative 3 goes over and become what?
Positive.
So a half x, sorry, or just another way of saying x over 2. Do you agree?
Yes.
Let's write it. A half x is equal to 5 plus 3. So x over 2 is equal to 8. Do you agree? If I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, what do I do? So x is equal to what? 2 times 8. What is x equal to what? Talk to me now. 16. So can I tell you why f of x cannot be equal to 5? F of x is not equal to 5 because x is equal to what? 16 is not in the domain of f of x. That's the reason. What are the values in the domain of f of x? What are the values in the domain of f of x? See, the domain was what? We're given the domain A.
1, 2, 3.
A is what?
1, 2,
1, 2, 3. But when we put f of x is equal to 5, what did x come out to be?
16.
Is that in the domain? So therefore it cannot be what? Therefore x cannot be what? Since x is equal to 16 is not in the domain of f of x. F of x cannot be equal to what? 5. Because in order for f of x to be equal to 5, x has to be what? X has to be what?
16.
And it is not in the domain of what? F of x. So f of x cannot be equal to 16, cannot be equal to what? 5. Because x is equal to 16 is not in the domain of f of x. That's the reason.